resolution renewal. My goal for us today is to level set with some of the current things that are going on. So to put the wet blanket on any panic, we've got plans for you relative to the new dietary guidelines. We want to talk a little bit about this time of year, what we're doing to renew our commitment, not only to our menu with these guidelines, but how we're looking at data to help us make great decisions when we're planning forward on our menus as well. So we're always going to talk about where we're at mid-year so we can get to see that light at the end of the tunnel school year where we end the year in a very strong positive manner. With that, I say we can't give good service unless we get good service. And again, I just am so grateful for being welcomed again into the Sandridge studio here. Partners in our What's Up Wednesday Live. You'll be able to see Keith a little later and some new things they've got going on. But we also wanted to introduce you to our new friend at Gordon Food Service. So we are going to talk a little bit with our new partner in technology to kind of get all the reports we need to make the important decisions. And then, of course, we cook and we have fun cooking, and we're going to call to action all of those mystery cookers, I know you're on, that are going to sign up this year for a mystery chef with all the details for that. So ready to go? Here we go. So we turned over the calendar, and there wasn't a long runway for this, but what also turned over was the pyramid. So in case you all haven't seen, this is the new version of what the dietary guidelines in a picture format is representing for us. For those of you, just as a level set reminder, the dietary guidelines are what dictates the USDA meals patterns. So I know oftentimes when things get out in the media, everyone starts to worry. And again, we don't want you to worry. First of all, talking about a renewal, renewing some of the main focuses of what we've already started with. Adding more proteins to our menus to reduce the sugar at breakfast, adding more whole foods. Many of you have done such a brilliant job with just fresh produce bars. That's a whole food. Vegetables and fruits cut up, put out in a rainbow, you're already doing it for two of the categories on your tray. Many of you, again, are thinking about ways to introduce protein more at breakfast. That's already a thing. So no panic, lots of new opportunities to think that through. Also, as we worry about things, we're talking about overall calories and fat, right? And so there are some things here, I'm not going to read these all. It makes more sense to me when you think about it, is getting food in its whole form as much as possible on your menu and prioritizing whole grains. Okay, now we've been doing that for a while. So when I saw this, it really didn't flip my world upside down. It really re-emphasized a renewed response to what schools already do really well. We've already got our kids on the whole grain. We've already got them on the fresh produce. We also are adding in that protein. And most of you are really already looking at products that are helping you meet that reduced sugar. So we're going to talk a little bit more about how, again, if you take that QR code, it's going to take you to the dietary guidelines. I'm here to give you the Reader's Digest version and really help you not panic, because I think schools are really leveraged in a positive position to continue to make dietary guidelines a reality for schools. The next important thing, and for those of you with us that are on our Healthy Meal Planner Pro platform, our company's already listening to the chatter and helping respond to questions. This particular slide gives you an example of what Healthy Meal Planner Pro has already put out as an FAQ. So if you're a part of the Healthy Meal Planner Pro family with Pisanick or without, clicking the banner is going to take you to an entire FAQ on whole and reduced fat milk implementation. And again, it's one of those when we know more, we'll tell you more statements. So there really isn't all of the clarity that we need to really perform at that level. But one thing we know is we want to be in the seat of being proactive instead of reactive. And so what I will say about that, I included this little screen grab on the right from one of the business development managers. Whole milk isn't just going to magically appear in half pints for us at schools. That's going to have to take, as everything does, a proper channel with procurement, as well as us logistically working with our dairy partners to talk to them about what we want to do with this whole milk thing. So do not panic. I'm not saying that it's time to change your menu, but I am saying there's ways to implement a process to change your menu, and we can help you with that. So don't worry about the milk thing. That's probably the biggest thing. If you all were with us last year at the opening of 2025, we did a really proactive look at ultra processed foods. So again, the dietary guidelines are telling us whole foods. What does that mean? Limiting things that are processed. How are we doing on that? So we know that we've talked about these attributes, and we've also worked with Green Onion, which again is the Lifetime Foundation nonprofit free program. If you are still not there, you need to get there to be able to upload your current order guide and to be able to evaluate where you're at. And so a lot of schools have done that. An upcoming local school nutrition association meeting will be highlighting that again with 2 local schools. There are partners among Pisanick that have already started doing this. And I really encourage us, again, to look at what you're leveraging for not only the end of this school year in this semester, but as I know, most of you are starting to think about your cycle menus for next year. Use the tools and resources that you have at your disposal so that you don't have to panic or think it's going to be an overwhelming process. So again, dietary guidelines, no panic. Renewal and recommitment and investigating the options that we have in the marketplace that we share. The next slide is going to talk a little bit about ways we can help do that. Many of us have used and leveraged Gordon Food Service and their wonderful digital solutions specialist, Chip Gregory, who has since moved on. But have no fear. Again, we can't give good service unless we get good service. And I have had the privilege of meeting Mr. Nathan Jacobs and the team here locally at Gordon Food Service. And I really wanted, first of all, you all to meet him virtually and have a calm space that there are still lots of supports within our logistical partners that can help you get reports to help you do things that you need at this time of the year. So we talk about not only understanding your nutritionals with the dietary guidelines, now we're going to talk about what are your finances looking like? Have you even looked at your Buy American yet? Have you really taken a really good inventory or trained your team on inventory manager? So without further ado, I'm going to welcome Mr. Nathan, if he's able to join us live. Go back one slide there, Dave. There he is. I see his smiling face. We're going to let Mr. Nathan Jacobs introduce himself, and he's going to take over and show us again some reminders of the digital solutions that are right at your fingertips to get this process started. Hi, Nathan.
Hi, how are you today?
I'm wonderful. I'm at Sandridge. Have you ever been here?
Many times. I love
Oh,
that
okay. So
place.
you
I
know
know
I'm really good. There's some good
I,
food right here. I'm getting hungry.
I know the brothers very well. It's a great company and great products that those two produce. Love those guys.
Agree.
So, those of you, in case you don't know what we do, I'm the digital solution specialist. I help you with all of your customer-facing tools that we're going to do some quick highlights on. I've been in food distribution now for 20 plus years. And I do live in South Carolina, but I want you to know that we are here to do virtual Zoom meetings like this, one-on-one, and we will share the information how to get in touch with me, but we can always do it back through the group here, through the partnership, or we can do it through your sales reps, whatever works for you, but just know that you get a big family with everybody supporting you. So having said that, I'm going to share my screen real quick, and we're going to look at some stuff with Gordon ordering. All right, can we see my screen okay?
It's coming up. There it is.
There it is. Okay, cool. All right, some things we want to remind people of and show you how to get to some things. Um, Guides. We want to remind people that the easiest way to make custom guides, as I heard we touched a little bit there about cycle menus for next year, but this will also lean into doing inventory at the end of this calendar year or fiscal year for everybody, and it makes counting much, much easier when we get to that June timeframe. We're doing some counts. So to do the custom order guides, what we're talking about here, and I'm going to be in a test account environment just because some of the stuff we want to show you today that is available, we don't have access, we being myself and my partnership. And we'll talk more about that in a second. So order guides. What you want to look at here is you start develop fall's cycle menu. Think about the items that you're going to want in, say, a week 1 cycle of a 4-week cycle menu. The easiest way to do this is from your main order guide that you will have, and you guys probably have 1,500 items on your order guide, but that's not really a manageable way to do the ordering. We want to narrow this down to, say, the 100 items that you potentially would use in that week 1 cycle. So what you would do is just order one of everything that you're going to use in that cycle. and then you will go to your shopping cart and view it, and then we will name it. So let's call this week one, week one fall 2026. So now when you go to do your orders, what'll happen is guides, you can just go to that week one cycle and just order the items that are going to be pertinent for that week. Now, a 201 level of this that was going to help us do inventory for the end of the year to make life easier for us is we'll still go to order guides, but this time I want you to, we're going to do the same process, but this time we're going to create an order and the sequence we need it to be in. What I mean by that is, okay, you start to do your inventory. You walk up to the walk-in cooler right outside the door. Maybe you have these onions. And then you go inside the walk-in and maybe you have these mushrooms up top. And then up top with the mushrooms on that walk-in, maybe is this cheese. Okay. It's enough for our purposes here. We will do this. And let's just name it real quick. Inventory list. And I will briefly touch on this again later, but setting up now as we build these custom lists is going to make life a lot easier for us later on. So when we actually go to do our year-end inventory, we will use this list and it's going to be in a sequence that makes sense for us and quickly be able to do the inventory. Okay.
I love that. So I'm going to jump in real quick. So for
Absolutely.
Healthy Pro users, we actually help you integrate your shopping list from your already planned cycle menu in that USDA approved software system. So being able to be a part of our team, we can help you easily do this and extract proactively your menu into your order guide so that your shopping list speaks to your order guide. Important as Nate finishes up his presentation, keep in mind on how important that's going to be, not only for the quality of food, but think about commodity use, think about plate cost, think about all the things you gain control over when you have more systems in place that make it user-friendly for any ordering capacity at the site levels of the kitchens you have, right? And I'm not saying our ladies don't order what they're supposed to order, but sometimes it's easier to have a guide as opposed to category searching something that might not be the right commodity, the right plate cost, or the right nutrition for the menu cycle you've planned. So Nate, you're giving us pearls of wisdom that I can't emphasize enough to all ears, folks, as he completes how this is going to make life easier. Let's keep reiterating that.
Yes. Life easier. That's what we want. So as we're doing the fall menus, let's look at Buy American, and we're going to talk about inventory and reporting for that in a second. So say you need to look for or want to look for some new Buy American items. Let's pick a category. We're just going to do a category search, and we'll do grocery search. Sure. Let's find a cereal. We really want to highlight over on the left, if you scroll down and you check mark this Buy American box, we are quickly going to narrow the list down to anything that qualifies for the new Buy American initiative that's began this year. So it's one way to quickly make sure that we're in compliance with that percentage of reporting. Make sure we use that quite often. Having said that, as we also do reporting for the year end, if you do not have access, you should see under more tools, you should see a Gordon reporting option. If you do not, please reach out through the group and then back to us, and we will make sure you have access to that because we have made the compliance reporting very, very easily attainable. And all you have to do is a few clicks. You can select the schools or multiple schools you want on the report, and we can help you. And it even puts it in the column sequence to make life easier to match up with what the government's asking for, how that report should look for you. And we can do that all one-on-one. If you want some one-on-one help with that, please reach out through the group back to us, and we will help you walk through the Gordon reporting on the Buy American. And now there's also a rebate report that is in there as well that we can help you with.
I love those ideas, Nate. So yesterday, we personally just did this with one of our small parochial schools. And I will tell you, we reached out to Marissa. She gave us the access to this reporting. And then we opened up side by side the Buy American worksheet that is through KERS, download forms in Ohio, for us to be able to report our Buy American purchases. And a lot of our schools are up for review too. So they're being asked, how are you tracking this? Not only at end of year, but now. So number one, if you're up for AR and you are needing documentation, it is there for you. This Buy American report really does speak to inform what details that particular piece of compliance reporting is asking you to do. So you don't have to do everything manually because of this great synergy between what you're ordering digitally through Gordon Experience and this report telling you the country of origin, the date you ordered it, the amount you've ordered it in. So again, wet blanket on any panic. We're renewing some knowledge on the technology platform of Gordon Food Service, but we are taking a deep breath because this is going to get us the reporting we need, not only if you're up for review currently for your administrative or procurement reviews, but as you go to the end of year, just as good practice to continue to inform what your purchasing strategies are. Nate, I loved that you put in how easy it is to be proactive instead of reactive. So when you have those little search buttons on the side, you don't have to say, oh, I hope I'm not going to go over my 10%. If you know you have to write a plan that you are exceeding that, you can already proactively select that Buy American toggle on the side left there, and it's going to allow you to see through that category look of what you have the choice of that would automatically guarantee proactively as you're thinking about either transitioning into new products for this semester or certainly for planning that 10% or less spend for future years. And I think it gets tighter. I know it gets tighter. So this is a great, great tool and resource, Nate. Thank you for highlighting that.
Yes, ma'am. And then just lastly for me, for people that when we want to do year-end inventory, this inventory list, we can import any of the guides that you've created custom-wise, either through the group or through assistance with us, and then help you get that year-end calculation very quickly and easily. We can do a one-on-one on how to set this up, but it's always available for us on our website. All your pricing will automatically be updated. All you have to do is go and put you physically what you've got on the shelf, stress-free, be done in a day. Everybody's happy.
I love all of that. I do. And one of the things I want to say too about inventory management is it's really good to get in a proactive cycle right now and not just wait to that final inventory. And we talk about the January as the midpoint of the year. Nate, talk a little bit about folks that have what we would call a dirty inventory and how they might approach Gordon Food Service to clean up their inventory sheet if they're an existing inventory user for products that are off their current buying pattern. What would be a good resource? Would you have them just contact their rep and get in touch with you? How do we clean house in January to make sure inventory is easier?
Sure. Yeah. It's so cleaning up the actual how to do the counts and what is on that list is very easy to manage. You've got two options. Preferably, absolutely reach back to your sales rep and we will set up some time where we can virtually zoom in to yours exact account. We'll look exactly what's going on with your particular location and help you get that resolved.
I love that. I love making the idea of what's happening in your systems as efficient and clean as possible. And again, knowing that you have these resources at your fingertip, it's so important to be able to touch bases with your CDS rep if you have any questions. And just, I wanted you to put a name with the face. Nate, many of our folks really took advantage of Chip in a good way. They loved reaching out, and I'm so, yes, I love it. I don't want to call you the new Chip. I just want to call you our friend Nate. How about that? And Nate is our friend, and he will help you get through any of your technical challenges. And again, I think if you're a supervisor listening, what could you do to help make your life, the life easier for those in the front line in your kitchens that are doing this work? I would say now's the time of year to start cleaning up these processes. And I will tell you what I do at Pisanick when I start looking at our menus is I invite my friend Tina to the table because Tina of Pisanick Partners is the friend of our financial, she's our penny pincher.
I am a penny pincher, sorry to say that, but it is a good thing to do. And especially with the new year coming in, what a better time. First semester's out, we can put that in the books, let's move forward. I love the report. I'm telling you, I right now I'm looking forward to see what am I going to do at the end of the year? Am I going to stay positive? our main goal is to stay positive, right? So right now, I'm kind of telling everybody to do, start looking at this financially. Where are we at? We're halfway through the school year. We know a lot of the bulk of the money comes in towards the end of the year because we've used up the inventory and we're kind of getting rid of everything. So right now is the perfect time to look at it. So I want everybody, for our financially healthy, let's start the new year in. Let's first check your commodities. So go into your commodity thermometer, check your thermometer, see where you're running on your calendar. Hopefully you're at least January. Our goal is to hit at least January. If we're doing that, we know we're good. If we're a little under, we're going to have to stop and think about some of the things. What are we doing? How can we get that commodity to get up? If we're running like 80%, I'm like, yeah, let's go. Let's get it all the way through the end of the year. So as you're checking out your commodities, you also want to think about your budget. So as our budget, are we running positive? As my profit and loss, where am I falling on the range? If I'm running a little lower than I wanted to be, let's stop and think about this. What are some ways we can do rather than maybe purchasing something that is a commercial price? Let's talk about doing some scratch cooking. Think about it. Homemade pizzas, maybe versus paying 80, 90 cents a slice. If we're making these pizzas from scratch, we're talking 45 cents. That's a huge way to help bring our finances back up. Also the Buy American tracking tool. We've been talking about this, and I love the report to GFS. I have to thank them. Let me tell you, it was wonderful being able to get that report up and to start my tool, my tracking tool, to make sure. He made some wonderful points. The report is so simple to get on the GFS website. If you're involved with GFS, it was very easy to get. And it was great for me to see where am I falling on that, on my range. Am I doing good? And I was doing good. So we're all good, set, ready to go, moving forward. And now I'll know by the end of the year, hopefully I will still be under my 10%. And it's a nice tracking tool to have. Next, also, as we're looking ahead, you want to start thinking next year. Really think about it. We're already halfway through, and we've already gone into the second half of the year. So we are really moving along on this calendar year. So start thinking about all your co-ops, your agreements that you've signed up for next year. Have you set this up? Is it all ready to go? Make sure all my agreements are there, because I hate to be that, I have schools every once in a while. I'll get in August and they're like, oh, I forgot to do this. So here we go. It's January. Think about new stuff, thinking about new year, get it all set and ready to go. Look at your co-ops as well, because even if you are being audited, procurement audits, nice thing that they do ask us, how do we know what co-op we're taking? So, and who we're working with. So you want to double check that. Even if we've been with the same company every year, you still want to double check and look into those things. Start looking into your procurement data for next year, for the 26, 27. Line up your vendors. Who am I going to use? Have I done my 3 bids and a buy? Have I, kind of get all of that stuff out of the way so you can have a stress-free summer and not worry about it. Speaking of summer, moving into summer feed programs. Right now, if you're going to be doing a summer feed, they have the Summer Summit going on February 16th and 17th. Sign up through DEW, get yourself involved in that. And again, moving ahead, planning for that for your summer feeds. And then this is a good time too to start procuring your equipment, maintaining your equipment. Am I going to need anything that I want to be done over the summer while staff's not there, while kids aren't there? So if you're looking at rebuilding or purchasing new stuff, you want to look at it now. Get that, because again, not necessarily can we just order our stuff and it be there tomorrow. So you want to look at that ahead of time, moving towards the summer. And again, it's going to be here before we know it. So just kind of start looking at your numbers. And as much as I'm a penny pincher, I like staying on that positive side. So look at your numbers and see what you got.
Absolutely. Well, I'm sharing this little mic. I don't know if I need to, but it's kind of fun. I'm like Vanna. I can't say enough about right now. You're doing this as a sitting supervisor for Woodridge. So not only does Pisanick Partners obviously help you with your cycle menu, we still have boots on the ground, real experience of director life. And so we know on the snow days, we're all going, because we're paying our employees and we're not making that income. So the only other thing I'll say about financial fitness and financial health as a food service director, I liked to know that number in case my community board or my treasurer asked me, what is my daily revenue and how many snow days was I impacted? So if you're looking at a profit and loss and you're going, wait a minute, this isn't as nice as it used to look.
I hate snow days.
Snow days are
Snow days are
expensive.
not a financial
Snow days are expensive. So, but it's an important thing. You can't control it, but you can know proactively what your loss of revenue is based on the number of calamity days you have. And I think for me, that was always an important number to give myself a little grace if I didn't think the profit and loss was looking as strong as I wanted it to really look at all those factors that impact that. And one other thing I will say, looking ahead to summer, I'm going to look way ahead. Don't forget about training for your new employees, right? And succession planning. So as we look at folks retiring, or you're thinking about perhaps mobilizing some of your general food service into a supervisor position, I would be plotting a proactive approach for their training in the summer.
Yeah, truthfully, right now I'm actually doing that with one of my districts. One of the districts I'm in Woodridge, my managers, I have 3 of them that could retire. I'm praying they don't all retire at me at once. But I'm thinking about that moving ahead. Who is my second? Who's going to be coming in? So I do have actually one of my seconds is been kind of filling in. And so I bring in my manager in there right now, and she's kind of double checking, making sure, letting her run the game. Just because I don't want to have to throw somebody, I mean, it's enough stresses already being a new person and not knowing what you're doing. It's the more training you can get these people, the better off you're going to be and the easier it'll be on them.
I love it. I love it. Well, we're always here for you for the training part of things. But we also love to just give you good ideas. So I'm going to bring on my friend, Marge. For those of you who know Marge, she is our leader in menu inspiration. I'm going to hand this to you now so I don't have to hold it so awkwardly. It was around my neck. No. We are here today together. Marge actually just got to record at this studio for her Out of the Box. So I'm always just so thrilled when Marge puts her menu writing hat on. So we're going to go into some menu inspirations and matters for you.
Yes, so not only does the calendar say that it's soup season, but certainly the temperatures outside have also. So we just want to remind you, of course, soups on your menu. We want to make sure that they are creditable soups, that they tell you how they credit for the meal pattern. So I do have a list there of some creditable pre-made soups, but also soups are easy to make from scratch. We have a lot of recipes. We're always willing to share those. Of course, we'll be talking with Keith from Sandridge in a little bit about some of their low sodium soups that are school creditable. So those are great resources for soups. And then also I will drop in the chat and you'll get in the recap. Land O'Lakes, I have some schools I've written some recipes for that are making soups with the Land O'Lakes cheese sauce as a base and really cuts down on the steps for prep. So we will share those, and we're always willing to create, of course, those recipes for you.
Yeah, think Panera. Think like what you can combo half soup with a sandwich or a salad. Also, one of the things I love about soups is it usually gets your staff involved. It's cold for your staff to go outside for lunch. So capitalize on getting more adult meals by putting together some really cool soup offerings, even if you just do it as a catering for the adult meals. I think it's it is an awesome season. If people are eating, they're bringing something, they would rather it be warm than cold out of a lunch bag. So soup it up.
Also think about harvest of the month items that you can plan for. Sweet potato, you can do super simple. The just roasted sweet potatoes with some maple seasoning or pumpkin pie spice on them is an easy way to feature sweet potatoes. And then I don't know about you, but I think my TikTok or Instagram saw me looking up recipes about sweet potatoes. So I don't know if any of you have seen this viral video where this is a teacher who I think started this, where she roasted a sweet potato and puts cheese in the center of it, and it's gone viral. I actually have tried this. I think if you want to be where your kids, students are seeing food trends, ask them. I suspect maybe they have seen this. And I thought how easy to roast some sweet potatoes and maybe have, when I did this, I did it with some Gouda cheese inside, but even like the Munster cheese cubes, those would melt, give them some cheese cubes on the side that they could stuff their own sweet potato, and you will be on trend with what kids are seeing on their social media.
I love this. This is what Marge does on her snow day. She does viral TikTok
Yeah,
knockoff recipes.
Right. Also, harvest of the month coming up is carrots. So this is kind of from simple to more moderate. And then I don't even think the harder one there, the muffin, is that hard because there's the General Mills Pillsbury muffin, whole grain muffin mix that you can have some add-ins like the carrots to make a carrot muffin. I love this kind of more global flavors with a Moroccan carrot salad would be great to have on a salad bar, have some of those global flavors. And of course, because I work with preschool so much, always think simple too. Some roasted carrots, glazed. That's a great way to taste those fresh carrots. Also is really simple, easy to do. So again, those recipes are available. And then what we always like to borrow, I won't say steal ideas either. Actually, this red hot baked cinnamon apple when I was a kid was a treat my mom would make, a baked apple basically, but putting a couple red hots on there. I thought that would be a kind of healthy Valentine's Day dessert treat. And then a school had asked me to put this Groundhog Day dessert that they're going to celebrate Groundhog's Day on their menu that I thought was super cute, where they took pudding cups you can get from GFS. They already have the Oreo crumbles, a few Oreo crumbles, and then a little Teddy Graham peeking out to look like the groundhog.
This is screaming Crestwood, Jennifer. Did I nail it? Did I nail it?
Yeah. So Jen, so I always stole your idea.
It's a great one.
Yes.
I mean, we know you don't care. You share all your recipes. But
Yeah.
she loves a good treat, and her staff really do a cute job of theming their menus too. So
Yes.
kudos to Crestwood for always raising the bar and sharing your good recipes.
I thought that was very clever and
Yeah.
fun. And then, of course, we want to remind you, start planning. The weeks go by fast. National School Breakfast will be here soon. So this is a good time to maybe start thinking about incorporating some more of those protein forward, savory breakfasts if you're not doing that on a regular basis. This is just a snip of a few of those recipes that we do have. But if you have a new concept, want us to help, certainly reach out, and we're happy to do that. And
First week in March. That's the first week in March.
Yes.
So again, February is a short month, right? And we know we already had some snow days. So planning is a paramount success strategy. So
for sure. And again, just the easiest way to reach us is that support ticket system that we have. So any of the recipes that you have seen that you might like, just send us an email to that support@ppllc.info. If we manage your menus, of course, you know, all the information that we like to get is listed there for any menu changes that we can help you with.
yeah, and I will add, one of the things that I got, which I said, hey, you guys are so smart for doing so. If you are looking to modify your menu because you had snow days, perfect idea to think about what's in your inventory. Don't over order and rework some of the next couple days so that you can get that inventory mix cleaned out. One-time change, hey, snow day redo on my menu. That's something really smart to think about proactively from a financial and inventory standpoint.
I spent most of my morning this morning putting in those snow days for schools that said, put in yesterday we were off, we're changing our menu, move it to this day. So we like menu transparency.
Absolutely.
Right? So if you're changing your menu days around, please use that support ticket system so that we can help your menus reflect those changes.
Wonderful. Well, I'm excited. Thank you for all those ideas. I'm hungry too because I've been standing here in front of all of this lovely, lovely food. And we would be remiss if we didn't come into the new year, not only in this new wonderful studio, but to really celebrate. For those of you who are thinking about new strategies and you're already thinking past that spring break, so many of us seasonally switch our menus. So we're going to have some inspiration here from our partners at Sandridge. But also, you know, I challenge Sandridge to say, hey, listen, these new dietary guidelines got some of us freaked out. We might have already spent down a lot of our commodities, and we might be saying, what kind of whole proteins can I put on my menu if I want to celebrate not only the dietary guidelines and do some try days. March is National Nutrition Month, kind of a little foreshadowing. That might be a great time to start thinking about whole food try days and just seeing if kids in your district like it. So I challenged Keith. Come on, Keith. I challenged my brother here and partner in Sandridge. And I'm starving. I'm standing in front of these things. So I'm going to give it over to him because this is an excellent spread of food and some good ideas.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. So we're going to just actually going to talk about, because even though it is cold outside now, it's spring and summer hopefully are right around the corner. So we wanted to be the first ones to show you, actually the very first people to see are some new salads that we're coming out with here in the spring. So these are going to be available right after the first spring food show here. So all going to be available through Gordon Food Service. So we have 4 new options. So I'm going to go ahead and change this over. Yep, he changed it over to the overhead camera. So I'm going to kind of walk you through each one of these. These are all going to be under the Brickman's label. So we have a brand new slaw. This is going to be the first slaw ever that is going to be under the Brickman's label. So all the other ones we've had have been under the Sandridge or the Gordon Choice. Secretly, and within Sandridge, this has always been one of our favorites. This has a little bit of apple cider vinegar into this, so it makes it a little bit nice here.
So as folks are doing like barbecue bars,
Absolutely.
you can see that being or even any type of like sub concepts.
For sure.
Like a po' boy.
Oh, yeah,
Ooh.
absolutely. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Yep. Moving on to the next one here, we have a great new protein forward salad here. This is our new harvest grain salad. So this has some chickpeas and stuff into it. So very, very nice here. And again, this is going to be pouched here and 2 5-pounders, just like the last 3. You know, this has quinoa and some other things into it, but the chickpeas and things into it. So
Lots of protein. I like the idea.
So I'm just making sure I actually pulled this up just to make sure I didn't miss anything on this because they are brand new. So harvest grain, a wholesome plant-based blend of chickpeas, quinoa, carrots, celery, diced cranberries, and apple cider vinegar.
Oh, it looks lovely.
So yeah,
Yeah, very
so we
fresh.
should jump into that.
Looks
Yeah.
like Whole Foods there to me.
Sounds
I
like
love
it
it.
to me as well. So next up is a grinder salad. So again, this one here is just packed with protein on this one. And then lastly here, what we have is a brand new Asian noodle salad as well.
Cold.
Too.
Could be a cold salad.
Oh, yeah, it is a cold
Perfect.
salad, but could be warmed up as well. So easily, you know, warmed up and throw some chicken or something into it as well for sure too.
I'm thinking about refreshing for spring. A lot of our schools do a cold grab and go salad program, and they also do wraps and they do different things. So those speak to volumes to adding some commodity chicken over there on the Thai noodles. This grinder salad alone would be lovely with just like you know, I don't know, by itself, it was like a full meal.
Sure,
I definitely think, I mean, that is a yummy, a lot of our schools did the grinder chopped sub. So this is just, instead of using the bread, you're using the noodle.
Yep, definitely
amazing.
a different take on
So
it.
if you're a grinder family at school and those kids really love that, either think about bringing it back in the sub format, which we have the recipe for, or a salad. It sounds like a very interesting spin on it.
Absolutely. So we're going to keep the overhead camera on there, and I'm going to just kind of change this out. Thank you for attempting to grab it in case I
was going to, but I'm going to slide it
hit a
this way.
little bit
There we
of
go.
this over
Oh,
here, just
we're going to do some
there you go.
dialing it up. All right, perfect.
All
go.
right, so I'm going to move this so everybody can see. So we did this on bigger plates just so everybody can have a little bit better view of this. So what we're highlighting on this is our fully cooked pot roast. So with this, again, remember everything that Sandridge makes is all fresh and refrigerated. So this is just like everything else we do. It's going to be a fresh sous vide pot roast.
Okay, tell us again, sous vide.
Yep.
Remind everybody.
Yep, so sous vide has been around since 1829. Okay, so it's nothing new. A lot of people now will have them, are familiar with the technique because they sell the little wands at Walmart and stuff and things like that. There you go. So a lot of people will have them in their homes, but it's low and slow. It's controlled, cooked underwater at a controlled temperature for a long period of time. So this particular pot roast has been sous vide cooked for about 14 hours.
So it's beef, seasons, and water.
Yep.
That's it. So that doesn't get much more whole food than that. And many of us aren't buying in raw beef pot roasts and simmering in our own kitchens. So this product lends itself completely to that tri-day, I suspect, with the whole protein focused menu items.
Absolutely.
These speak to us because these can easily be, you know, you can flip out if you're running out of commodity. Let's just say you're going low on your chicken, or you have to use up, you don't have commodity dollars left over in your pork bank, whatever the case may be. This beef product is very versatile. I love this recipe.
So we've done this a whole bunch of different ways multiple times too. And also I would say keep in mind with this as well, our pulled rotisserie chicken, anything that we're doing here can also be swapped out with that as well too.
I love a good bar concept.
So we're going to just talk through each thing here that we've done. So the pot roast, again, same exact pot roast, just 4 different ways here. So here we just put it over top. So I should start by saying 2 of these, we actually use the no salt taco seasoning too. So you can add that to this. So here we put it over top of a whole grain nacho. Here with this, we did the bread, and we actually did, I'm going to actually kind of bend this up so everybody can kind of see. And we were talking earlier about the soup sandwich, right? So obviously all the different soups that we have, which we're going to talk to you about here in a minute. But this would be fantastic with a nice tomato soup.
Oh, a school-friendly
Yep.
beef and cheddar.
Yep.
So we are always about that good knockoff, the next knockoff. And so if you have the fast casual dining vibe, you know, some folks will do like a burger concept that has a similar flair to maybe, you know, a famous fast casual, or they'll do like a bibimbap bop for the Asian. That screams the beef and cheddar. And that could definitely go with a half cup of soup and be a very well-portioned, whole grain, commodity cheese, and then this clean label beef. I think I've got my next inspiration for my grilled cheese bob.
There you go. Absolutely. So again, just a very nice look, and like I said, a nice tomato soup with that would be fantastic. Here we use that same pot roast with that no salt taco seasoning. We just put it onto the whole grain tortilla shell and a little bit of tomatoes and onions on top of this, and of course the little bit of lettuce there. And then lastly here, what we did is we just kept it kind of traditional with the gravy, some carrots over top of the brown rice as well.
Nice.
So super easy to do. And like I said, remembering that all these can be just swapped out with that pulled rotisserie chicken as well. So it's just a super, you know, kind of fun different ways to utilize one product.
Absolutely. Get in one SKU, utilize it 4 different ways. And what I will say is most of our schools love a good, like another, you know, besides soup, chicken mashed potato bowl. You know, that's something that schools love and have had.
Of course.
Changing that vibe up, doing a rice bowl with pot roast, I think is like a fun new, like savory meat concept. And then we always think meat and potatoes.
Yeah, I was just going to say.
So you can do it over mashed potatoes, but the rice, that's another good idea, because talk about products you get in and you can use versatilely. You could have a side of rice with your taco bar, and then perhaps build into a bowl the next day, and be smart about your mise en place and your ordering and your inventory for the week with a couple of brown rice dishes.
For sure. And just to keep on that whole concept, and also talking about the bars as well. So this rice is our brown rice, like we mentioned. It comes in 2 4-pounders, okay, already fully cooked, ready to go. You're just throwing it in your steamer, dropping it in boiling water, whatever have you. But we also do have the cilantro lime rice, the chili lime rice. Those ones are 4 4-pounders. So with those, it's kind of nice to, when you're talking about bars and doing different bars, hey, you can have a couple different rice options, and you know, you have the rice already prepared for you, so it couldn't be much easier than that. And you can also season this beef or that chicken, so you have 2 different proteins there available. So it's kind of a one-stop shop, right?
So you're breaking down several barriers here. I just want to highlight. Number one, if folks think your food is processed, deconstruct it and build a bar. It looks cleaner. It has all the pieces, parts you want it to have to really speak to a clean label, or whole meat, or whole protein, or whole foods. So looking at this beef opposite like diced tomatoes and the things that are added on here, or the carrots and the rice bowl, those are all whole foods. And if you have them on your bar, and kids can MTO, made to order, kind of like we've always talked about, we are renewing the emphasis on bar concepts. That has always been our mantra. Smarter Lunchroom Theory taught us that way back when I was the director in my own districts. That far back. I'm getting old. We already talked about that last show. We're not talking about it again. That far back, over 2 decades, I'll give that, of really trying to hone in on how to make food as wholesome, get the best quality out there. I know many of you struggle with 2 things that I think, Keith, I want to highlight, staffing and infrastructure. So these products try to take down all those barriers. So if you have a need that you have to have things ready, set to go, and you can't make your own rices and make your own pastas and make your own meats like this because your infrastructure or staff aren't there, these products are. And with a blend of commodities and a well-analyzed cycle menu, these are affordable for you.
Absolutely.
They're attainable. And so I don't want anybody to walk away saying, oh, that looks like a restaurant. You too can look like this restaurant, and that is a simple product to do that.
Absolutely. I wonder where would they find some recipes like that?
Oh.
Microsoft.
Oh,
how about that?
well,
chefs.sandridge.com. A little plug. So we actually have one more thing to talk about, if that's okay.
Absolutely,
Yep.
please.
We're going to actually switch and show something and share it with the screen here for
Yay.
almost.
Look at through the magic of TV. We're looking at this new studio, so I look mesmerized. I probably look like I'm like ADHD back here. I apologize because I'm looking all over the place.
Sure.
It's so fun.
So I think they should, yep, all right. So we wanted to share this with you. This is because, again, talking soup season.
Yep.
This is a really nice flyer that we have that I believe that we can probably drop into the,
We will.
did somebody just drop that in, Marge?
Marge,
All right.
do you have-
All right, Marge dropped it in for us. Okay, perfect. So what you're looking at, this is just a nice sheet that we put into a, I want to say a one pager, but it's actually front and back. So we'll just flip to the next page here for you. So this is all the Brickman soup. So what this is our reduced sodium soups. The top 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 soups on there are actually all well under 500 grams or less of the sodium on those. And the bottom ones are kind of hovering above that, but just a little bit, a couple of them are a little bit higher. But again, this just gives you some different options to look at. And also keep in mind, this is at, I believe, 6 ounces. So what we want to refer you to is even those bottom ones, again, for things like we always talk about, right, which is utilizing less of that soup as a sauce for a tortellini or a ravioli or whatever have you. So that's now you're talking an ounce or two of this sauce, of this soup as a sauce. So now you can really utilize a lot of these for different ways. So,
or a 4-ounce portion.
or a 4-ounce portion.
You know, a
correct.
lot of
Yep.
folks are using these soups as a value add to get more participation in the door. And with a well-placed combination of something that's more commodity forward,
Sure.
even the cost of it and, you know, just getting the more participation, the building the participation in these winter months. I will also say a shout out because there's a couple of these products that were just at the local Sand meeting food show, and Jill did a great job. So you brought up a good point. You know, folks will get these soups and use them in casseroles
Yep.
or other things. It's not just to use as a soup. It's used as a real quality flavor enhancer that makes dump it, stir it, bake it
Yep.
super easy and super attainable for schools.
And just for reference on that, for if somebody wasn't there, that particular one, we did the brown rice with the broccoli cheese soup, the reduced sodium broccoli cheese soup. So that was a really simple, easy dish and a little bit of low-fat cheese over it and bake it up. And you can't get much easier than that, right? So
You cannot get much easier than that. So we are here, we're your menu planners to help you create your own, you know, I call it the Panera style knockoff menu of pick two. A great way to do that. Certainly these soups bring in the quality without bringing in heavy lifts on the labor side. They come in, just remind everybody, those soups come in refrigerated.
the soups come in refrigerated and they are all packed 2 8-pound bags, which is just over a gallon each. So you get about 2 gallons of soup in each case. So every single soup is all packed the same way, and you have about a 35-day shelf life on them. So great shelf life on them. You can get them in, use them multiple different ways. You're using it as a soup today. You're using it as a sauce tomorrow. You know, a lot of different ways that we can utilize these. So for sure, but they are all packed that exact same way.
I'm so excited for that information. So super easy, super accessible.
Super easy?
Super.
Yeah, with S-O-U-P?
Yeah,
All right. Good plug, good plug, good pun.
Super easy.
Yes.
For those of you who don't know, Sandridge also has the microsite. So I know he said it quickly.
What was it?
It is
gfs.sandridge.com, and that's where all the recipes are, all the categories we have, all the, actually, I think there's a K-12 spot now.
There is a K-12 spot.
Something we'll talk about some other
That
time.
is, well, we're talking about it now because if we go back to the slides, you know, I have a couple of announcements here as we end up, but stay up here with me because you're not done yet.
Yep.
The first call to action and save the date, you know, we talk about the new dietary guidelines, we talk about staff development, all of the things we talk about renewing this semester. This year, we started a new cooking and conversation series. We had one on November 4th. It went over really, really well. I will tell you, it's only 50 seats. First come, first serve, and we are already close to 40 people registered for this one. It was a dynamic group of 8 school districts, 50 people. They came in and they got to cook in the kitchen with Tina and Marge, and we'll be doing that again.
The prize?
Yes, that's the prize, Tina and Marge.
Try and win next time.
February 13th. So we're going to show our Pisanick love by introducing this as an opportunity for those schools who are still looking for some really good credits on their professional development. So again, if you're in an administrative review, remember professional development standards are a thing. You got to document them and do them. Might as well do them doing something fun, like cooking in the kitchen. Yeah. On the flip side to this, the other 2 hours are spent well with our friends from ELA, Effective Leadership Academy. For those of you who came and have gone to previous innovation academies, dynamic, impactful, empowering. So not only do we give you the recipes, teach you the recipes, we we give you that energy to go back and be a change agent and not be afraid to have that growth mindset. So our folks will be joining us again from ELA. And then this time, because it's never a topic we don't want to repeat on, we are renewing everybody's knowledge of basic food safety with our friends from SFS PAC. So important to note, if you have new employees or you're training people, again, for that succession strategy, we will be there. Talking about all this lovely stuff and our giving good service, getting good service to give good service. One other plug I really, really want to put in is many of you come to us, you go to shows or you see products and you go, well, we can't order it. Gordon Food Service is bringing to us very locally, I mean, hyper local to me, I can probably walk there. Brecksville Broadview Heights High School will be hosting on March 20th, Friday, save the date, thanks to our friend Amy Voigt, a food show for us with the opportunity to vote on new items. And we can't say that enough. If there are things that you want in the pipeline, we really want you to take the time to go to that mini food show to be able to kind of take a look at those products, immerse it with us. We'll be there and really kind of see what's new and available as you're thinking through your menu planning. Because most folks then are ending with the beginning in mind. So your May, June menu is what you start off in August, September. So no time like the present to get some of these cooking demonstration, culinary development hours out of the way, coming to something like a showcase where you can actually see and taste and test those items. But I think the way we're going to end this is the way I love doing the work with you. And I need the slides back up. But you know what we do every year at this time. And what we do is we announce our mystery chef.
Yes.
It's here.
That's nice.
It's here. Our mystery chef competition. This is our 4th year with the mystery chef. And the mystery chef dates to remember. I think we're going to put the slides back up. And I know that in the chat, Marge is dropping a registration. The last day to register is February 6th. Again, February 6th, the last day to register, right around the corner.
Yeah.
And so for those of us who were previously in the Mystery Chef, please come back. It is our 4th season. We love our repeat attenders, if you will, and you know who you are. You bring joy to the process and really help folks feel the energy. Because I think, I say this every year, everybody wins. Everybody wins. It's fun. Right. On February 10th at 3 p.m., we'll do a virtual optional Q&A. If you're new to Mystery Chef and going, okay, what is this? What's going to happen? That's a day where you can join the Pisanick team virtually and get all the details on that. We actually come here and have a fun day on President's Day, packing all the boxes, and then we disseminate them out to our schools. And again, kind of a first come, first serve for registration. We do this with about a dozen schools. So if you are
up to now?
I don't know yet. We're dropping the registration. So
well, I figured Marge would be right on it. She's right on the spot.
she already has 5 schools already registered.
See?
I have my team in the back. You give more credit. So the boxes will be delivered, and then from the 17th of February to the 25th, that's your creation window. You create your recipe. And again, last year we did this and I think it was kind of fun. If you're a school that signs up and says, I would like one of the team judges to come on site, between our team at Pisanick, the Gordon Food Service team, the Sandridge team, we will put our heads together and put our schedules together and come out and see you as you do this. So many schools will have a test day where they test it with their students and their staff. We are willing to come and test your recipe in person if you'd rather do that. Sure. I actually kind of like that because I wish I could be in all of these kitchens, and it's challenging because we get to then watch your videos on February 26th, March 4th and 5th virtually. And one of the things we do virtually is we put together a metrics based on all of your criteria for creating the recipe and all of those factors that we'll talk about on that Q&A. Sure. And then we create a winner. So it's a pretty good judging panel with all of the, we do this legit. Yeah. It's a legit a scoring process, and so the winner is then announced. Save the date. So we have here some pictures of our past folks. First year was Jess Stone. We know that from Woodridge Middle School. She is kind of like our queen diva. We always love a good Jess Stone moment. She's helped inform and even sometimes judge with us for the future. We had the Independence Middle School as our second winners, and then our third winners was our very own Amy Voigt from Brecksville. So who will be the winner for this year? I don't know. I'm excited to find out, though. That winner will be welcomed to come to the studios here with us.
Yeah.
On March the 18th
Yep.
to be able to prepare their recipe live with us on the show and talk a little bit about how it went for them, how they engaged their staff. Because again, it isn't just about the end result of getting a prize or having the recipe. This is a win-win on how to really create dynamic professional development. And so most of our schools, here's a little hint, that do the mystery chef, use it as a professional development day for their menu development for their school sites. Some of our contestants have also engaged with dietetic interns. So we know that that's an opportunity if you have an intern and you want to do this as a really cool project to create forward menu thinking recipes for schools. This is awesome. And then the other thing I'll let you say is, again, the microsite.
They live on forever.
They live on forever.
Yeah, forever, yeah.
So
yeah,
yeah,
go ahead. Yeah.
I was going to say we created what we will call a food fashion photo shoot here with our friends at Sandridge last year.
Sure.
And I'm very hopeful we can do that again.
Absolutely. And so if you want to see some of the recipes from the past, if you go onto the site at gfs.sandridge.com and click on the recipe tab across the tab, there will be a K-12 spot that you can drop down and pull down and see the past winners. And so we're going to recreate them here as well for the new winners and moving forward. So you will live on forever.
I love that.
Yep.
So you will have a digital legacy, not only a little, we do give a little trophy,
Yep.
And the credibility of being a part of a winning team.
Sure.
And again, I feel like we're all winners in this process. Us specifically, as we renew into the new year, it can get dark in the winter months, it can get cold in the winter months, but one of the things we do know is we all come together when it comes around a kitchen setting.
Yep.
The heart of the school. You all are the heartbeat of that staff that make the food and the meals happen for kids. And we know that hungry students cannot be successful in schools. So we really just want to renew your energy around menu creation. We want to renew your faith in the process that you do make a difference. And we want to renew your excitement over what you can do in the upcoming months to keep your team excited. This third quarter of the school year is they often the challenging days. And so we really want you to think about it in a different light and be renewed in your purpose and renewed in your strength and your opportunity to create awesome things for kids. So we are here. We are your menu partners. We are your recipe partners. We're your cycle menu managers, your PD partners, and we surround ourselves with good friends. So we thank you. We wish you well. You know how to find us. If you need us, we'll see you in March.
Thank you.
Be well.